The year is 2006 and Nintendo is in deep trouble. The Nintendo GameCube flopped, and it flopped hard. Thankfully there's been a new console that has been in development for years at this point. The Revolution, also known as the Wii. But there's still one small problem. Usually a new Nintendo console always launches with a Mario related game. But uh-oh, Galaxy is still in development and won't be ready for another couple of years. Now, since Mario is out of the picture, this leaves one other franchise fit to take the spotlight, The Legend of Zelda. But this time around we're gonna switch things up a little bit. To make sure the game and the console it launches with are a success, the franchise gets some changes for a greater appeal to a wider audience. Link is now modernized. He's now wearing chainmail and an arm guard down to the knee padding in his boots. Never before has our hero seemed so fit for battle. But we don't start off as a hero, however. We start off as just a common farmer's boy. Our main protagonist is believed to be about 16 at the time of the game's opening. That age where other adults start to respect you and the neighborhood kids look up to you. We start off in our hometown village, a small farmer's village at the edge of the forest. Life in Ordon village is good. You're just doing your daily chores like goat herding or making sure the other kids don't do anything stupid like running away after a monkey and getting themselves caught by two purple grannies with sticks. You know, the usual stuff. But overall, life is slow and peaceful. The calm winds of a small village in the outer province of Hyrule. Whatever happens in town, it's just a local matter. No big deal. But then things are about to go from wholesome to worrisome. If you ever play Breath of the Wild, you ever feel like the story was broken up or felt like it wasn't progressing like the older Zeldas? Well, there's a reason for that. The newer games are not as much focused on the story as much as they are focused on the exploration and freedom. You see, it's a trade-off. The more freedom they give you, the less linear the game gets. And linearity is the ultimate model for story spacing. Just think of it like this. If the game was a movie, then the developers would be the directors. The more control developers have over the events of the game being shown to you in a particular order, the better the story spacing becomes. It's no surprise that the shift from linearity to non-linearity alienated a part of the fanbase, but it's understandable. These are both great games, but they are almost nothing alike, except for maybe sharing the same name and starring our boy. But The Legend of Zelda is actually not unique in this sense that there have been other franchises too that shifted styles so drastically before. The developers know this and it was done intentionally to overhaul a declining franchise. It was basically a gamble to keep the series alive and potentially draw in new players, which it did. So I'm sorry to say this if you're an old school Zelda fan, but
You, my friend, are all that's left of their religion.
moving on, I want to focus on what makes Twilight Princess the absolute undisputed king of the series. And before you say Ocarina of Time is better, let me just say this. No trashy water dungeon. No slow menu swapping. No annoying fairy ringing your ear every 2 seconds.
Listen!
And whatever they were thinking with this thing.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
And the game has its share of charm too. For example, you got this parrot who sells items based on donations, and if you go cheap on him, he will call you out for it. Or you could just steal the damn thing altogether. Or this clown with a giant cannon who shoots you to different regions of the world. Ski sliding, sumo wrestling, goat herding, chicken flying, canoeing, and I could go on and on about how much charm this game actually has. The amount of different ideas they can throw in this world is just mind-boggling. Creativity takes center stage throughout this game. You go from visiting the inside of a giant tree to the inside of a volcano, to an underwater cave, to an abandoned prison in the middle of the desert, to a royal mansion in the snowy mountains, and then go back in time to a forgotten temple, up to the city in the sky, then to another dimension entirely, and then to the royal castle where you face the final boss. And those are just the dungeons alone. The variety and quality of the levels here are top tier. And no doubt these are some of the best dungeons in the entire series as a whole. The final bosses are great too, but just a little bit on the easy side. If these were a little harder, then I may even say that it has the best dungeons in the entire series, period. Not to mention the music. This is Nintendo back at it again with the masterpieces. Here you'll find banger after banger. And the music certainly never stands still in one spot. The one moment you're going from this jungle monkey kind of vibe to a western cowboy movie, now that's how you know this game is next level. They managed to mix all these different sounds into one game without anything feeling out of place. But the best thing about this game's soundtrack is how every musical piece fits the atmosphere perfectly. Every track makes the level complete, to the point where it enhances it. The desert actually sounds like a desert. The lake sounds aquatic. And the open fields sound like an adventure. The best overworld theme in Zelda ever. The trumpets steal most of the show here. They really bring out this heroic theme, so fitting for a Zelda game. I like the Great Sea from the Wind Waker. It has this triumphant drive to keep going. And I like the sky from Skyward Sword, which isn't just an overworld theme, it's an entire orchestra. But Hyrule Field from Twilight Princess is so grand, so epic, so hyped, I always make sure to stop and listen whenever I hear it. I have finished this game about 10 times in my life, and I wish I was joking. The first time I played it I must have been turning 6 years old when it originally launched with the Nintendo Wii. However, as a 6-year-old it took me almost a whole year to beat it. But the game always stuck with me, more so than the Wind Waker did. Which speaks volumes because colorful games tend to appeal more to younger children. And I was around the same age that I played both of these games for the first time. It's a shame we never got a sequel to this game, and I don't know if we will ever see a realistic Zelda ever again. But what we did have was great. A lot of the criticism this game got at the time of release was that it was too similar to Ocarina of Time. These games came out 10 years apart from each other, but the similarities are still noticeable. To this critique, however, I'd always say that it feels more inspired than copied. The two games play nothing alike, and although Nintendo clearly tried to capture the success of Ocarina, which was the best-selling Zelda game at the time, I think they are different enough to the point where you can play Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess back to back and still feel satisfied. If I had to sum it all up, I would say that to me Twilight Princess is the more complete game. It took the bad parts from Ocarina of Time and fixed them. Maybe that makes it less original, but it doesn't take anything away, especially if you haven't played the previous one first. In that case, I'd say it has no flaws and it can be considered a must-play. If you haven't played it yet, I still think it's worth picking up. Even 20 years after it originally released, you could still have a complete experience with it. Twilight Princess is about as close to timeless as it gets. The combination of an awesome soundtrack, amazing level design, infinite charm, and the best companion make this truly a special memory. And that's why to me, it is the most complete adventure game out there. And I know that nostalgia often blinds, but objectively speaking, it's too great of a package for me to really downsize, or I would be nitpicking the hell out of it. I can't tell you the feeling of beating this game for the first time. You're just gonna have to play through it for yourself. There's a lot here that I haven't talked about to avoid any story spoilers past the intro. I just want to let it all be felt for the first time you find yourself in Hyrule. Now I know there aren't many options to play this game right now, nobody's gonna buy a GameCube or the Wii U in 2025, but if you know the ways of the dolphin, or something that rhymes with review, even you can experience what was once the best-selling Zelda game of all time. Just do not pirate the game, because that would be illegal.